Hello everybody, and welcome to another video on Eternal Crusade by me, Slippers. Given that, as of the time of this recording, launch of Eternal Crusade from early access in Steam through to actually being fully launched as a feature-complete game, in quotation marks, this is sort of a good time just to do a video on my opinions on the state of the game and my experiences with it, just to update my views from my last video. So yeah, here we go. Stability wise, the game is better than it's ever been. It pretty much never crashes for me. Sometimes if you kind of leave a game and you're having lag issues anyway, the game kind of struggles to reload you into the main menu again. But given that on release I'm certain bug fixes and continuous bug fixes will be kind of a continual thing, as the stability of a game is super important for keeping the player base from being unnecessarily frustrated with the game. Yeah, I'm not worried about the stability of the game. That's where it needs to be, more or less. You can play the game for extended periods of time without terrible things happening. So that's fantastic. And onto the server side of things, the past few weeks my connection has been awful, but recently, specifically today and yesterday, the kind of connection that I've had with the games that I've played has been much better. Now, the developers have stated that they will be implementing more regional servers for everyone, so as you would expect, all this means is that you will have a server nearer to you, therefore your connection is going to be better to whatever game is being played on that server. So I'm in the UK, and so if the server is in the UK, or hell, you know, Northwest Europe, my connection will be much better than if that server was in America, obviously. So either they are implementing more servers as we speak, or they are going to. Either way, connecting to games should be better and better from now on, which, once again, is fantastic. Gameplay-wise, the Howling Banshees, which I do have some footage of later in this video, they're great. I didn't do a video specifically on them because I have been super busy with preparing for a new job recently, which I'm going to start Monday, which is super hype. But yeah, the Banshees, they're awesome. If you don't know, they are essentially the assault class of the Eldar race, the Space Elf race. And what they do is they typically have a power sword in the fluff, but in this game you have to unlock the power sword and various other options. But they also have this psychic scream attack, which in this game translates into you press T, or I think it's hold T, to unleash your scream on a target. You have to face them, and it's a bit of a conal kind of shape, your scream, so I think there's potential to hit multiple people, although I'm not sure about that. But yeah, you unleash your scream and you suppress them, so their vision goes all funny, their aim goes a little bit all over the place, they kinda have to either dodge or die, as once you've screamed someone, they are more or less unable to fight you one-on-one for a few seconds, and so you can just unleash hell on them, basically. So that's super cool. I do really like how they've done the scream, as that's basically what the Howling Banshees, the clue is in the name, are known for, really. So yeah, the Banshees wise, they're great. They've rounded out quite nicely the Eldar race as a whole. Now you've got the support kind of melee guy, the Warlock. You've got the Banshees, which are the equivalent of ground assault guys from Eldar, I would call them. And then you've got Striking Scorpions, who are sneaky beaky, close quarters dudes. And yeah, basically the Eldar race is feeling quite nice at the moment. And I do believe in a patch fairly recently they've had damage values increased. And some people on Reddit, and just in general, are saying that Eldar are OP. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I honestly don't have the experience with playing Eldar to kind of qualify that or offer any valuable opinion. So yeah, I have no idea. But Banshee-wise, they feel fantastic, and as Banshees should. According to kind of how they play in tabletop, from what I know, not that I actually play the tabletop. Wish I did, though. Can't really afford it. But, yeah. So Banshees, they're fantastic. Vehicles, this is quite a big thing, because in patch 24, which is the patch that we're on, and which is essentially the patch that will be used on release tomorrow, vehicles have had their resistances increased on their front and slightly to the sides. So what this means is that, as you can see on screen at the moment, I am in a vehicle. If someone shoots with a heavy bolter at your front, whereas before they could actually slowly chip you down, now they are not really going to be able to do that with any reasonable speed, which is fantastic. That's where vehicles need to be, especially given how important vehicles are for the whole reinforcement system. Bearing in mind that because this game is still in early access and a lot of its players are new, not many people really understand the importance of vehicles as reinforcement points. They're basically the most important thing in this game, to be honest, as I see it at the moment. If you don't have a number of reinforcement vehicles nearby, you just can't maintain a decent assault of a point. But yeah, the fact that vehicles are tougher, it kind of encourages anyone who wants to kill a vehicle to flank that vehicle and actually use specific anti-vehicle, anti-tank weaponry, which again is great. Once people actually have reasonable unlocks for their loadouts, I'm sure that almost everyone will have a anti-vehicle class, whether it's a dude with a power fist or dude with crack bombs or melter bombs or whatever. So yeah, the damage values and defenses of vehicles have been tweaked, and it feels pretty good. Pretty good. Other than that, though, the store has been tweaked. Basically, there are now for you to spend your requisition points, which you earn at the end of every match, as you will see in this gameplay vid in the background. Once I complete this game, there are these basically random loot crates of varying kind of rarities, which, if it's a cheap one, it costs 1,000 requisition points to purchase, and when you unlock it, you get a random chance at a specific level of gear. Obviously, the small crates, the 1,000 cheap ones, those will give you something super basic, like a really basic weapon like a bolt pistol, or even maybe a sight or a clip or something. By the way, look at this. Grenade explodes up above. That's pretty cool. That's movie quality cinematography right there. But yeah, so basically they've given you another thing to spend your requisition points on other than actual weapons. But if you want my honest opinion, the random nature of these loot boxes, I'm not sure what they're actually called. I think they're cases, weapon cases. But yeah, the fact that it's completely random of what you might get means that you're really just better off saving your requisition points and just buying the weapons that you really want. So I made recently 20,000 requisition points for my Chaos character, and I bought a chain axe and a plasma pistol because I know I want to use those. Being a disciple of Khorne, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. So yeah, basically they've added those cases so you have something else to spend your points on. I wouldn't personally recommend it, but if you want to, feel free to go ahead. They've also added a bunch more cosmetics, so they've developed that whole side of it where before there weren't many options, but now they're introducing more cosmetic options, so shoulder pads. I don't think there's anything for legs for any races at the moment, but now there's chest plates you can choose for the Chaos Marines and I'm sure Space Marines, etc. Various trims, various helmets. The Chaos Marines have super cool helmets. There's like a Khan the Betrayer style one where it's like it goes up and around, and it's like stylized horn thing to put in your head, basically. But then there's also these like really realistic horns, as if, you know, you've got goat horns coming out, which is again super cool. Then you've got kind of like armored horns. You've got various things basically to make your character look damn badass, and that's what this game probably does need to keep people playing. And as you can see just on screen there, if you want to rewind, feel free. Here we go. The XP bar, it's just a helpful little thing that they have added recently, where you can actually see, without playing and finishing a game, how much XP one of your characters has, or how close they are to leveling up. So you can spend your advancement points on new, more powerful advancements. So that's, you know, quality of life thing that definitely helps the game, and which I definitely appreciate. So yeah, customization wise, they are continually adding more content, and whilst there's literally no leg customization yet, and I think there's like other things which are missing for some races, like Eldar doesn't have many options customization wise. They are going to add more over time, so that's cool. That's totally cool. And here you can see some Howling Banshee footage, so hopefully you enjoy this, and hopefully I don't embarrass myself. I can't quite remember what happens. I don't know. I'm gonna guess I scream and I hit people. That seems like a pretty good guess. So yeah, here, fighting a Dark Angel, it goes pretty well, because I screamed him. And he can barely fight me. Also, the execution is sweet. Just kind of graceful, all Eldar-like, you know. Pretty awesome. And, by the way, I'm still blown away by the fact that they have made the Eldar dodge animation, like a backflip and handstands and all that, really acrobatic, completely perfectly in line with what Eldar should be, according to the fluff, you know, nimble, graceful, literally space elves. That's what you gotta think, space elves in space. Here, fighting a space wolf, just throw an evacuation grenade and get the hell out of there, because Space Marines in melee combat, when they're specialist Space Marines for melee combat, absolutely terrify me. Although, according to the world map, Space Marines and Orcs are doing the worst of all the four factions. The Orcs have a tiny corner of the world map, the Space Marines have like the rest of that corner, and then Eldar and Chaos are just dominating. But I have to imagine that once this game increases in population, that will balance out as more games will be played, and yeah, it should just even out over time. And isn't really necessarily a valid indication of where race balance is from one race to another compared to each other. So yeah, there we go. That's just a random tangent, throwing that out there. General polish-wise, this game seems to be going in the right direction. Like you can see on screen, the whole loadout, loading into a game, it all looks quite nice. The glowing lines underneath your podium, upon which your character stands, that's really quite snazzy. I appreciate that for sure. The loading screens, they've been updated. As you can see, they've basically got some spare artists who's got nothing else to do some super cool 40k art. Barren landscapes, you know, alien worlds, all that jazz. It's all really quite cool, and it just shows that this game, given a month, or just given an indeterminate amount of time, could really become something quite special for all the 40k fanboys out there, like myself. I will unashamedly admit to that, because 40k is awesome, and I'm thinking of doing a video just summarising 40k lore in like an hour or something, covering all the races and the basic history of 40k to a beginner at some point, maybe recently, maybe soon even, proper grammar, but I'm not sure. But basically, yeah, this game is in a pretty decent spot for launch as I see it, and yeah, I can't wait to see if this sinks or swims. I'm desperately hoping that it is the latter. Here you go. Isn't that cool? as a swooping hawk, I swooped to a vehicle and got in. Isn't that totally awesome? I personally think that's totally awesome. But then I'm in love with 40k. Like, the grim darkness of this far future where the hope of technology has been lost, and every race is out for themselves. It's just fantastic. I don't see how you could not love this, to be honest. But yeah, I should probably start wrapping up this video before I go on too many random tangents. Basically, this game is pretty awesome. I'm not sure how much value it has for someone who isn't desperately in love with 40k. I have to be honest. As essentially, it's a large-scale multiplayer sci-fi shooter with classes. And there are many of those out there. Like, you just have to look at... this isn't the best comparison, but Overwatch, kind of? Nah, actually, I hate that comparison. Let's just say that if this game is mildly successful, say it gains another 1,000 players to its player base, and at the moment, I've been keeping track of this, it's got maximum 1,000 players at any one moment, usually around 500, kind of between 500 and 900 is the average. But if it gains more population, I will be ever so glad, as this game has tons of potential. And I haven't even touched the Horde mode yet, the survival mode where you fight Tyranids. Oh god, I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. And I do hope it does well. But the gameplay will be wrapping up soon, so as always, thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you want to discuss whatever I said in this video, or just the game, or even 40k itself, feel free to drop a comment. If you liked, drop a like, and if you want to see more like this, drop a sub. Thanks for watching. See ya.